Grand finals. This is our girls' grand final, our first of two today. We've got the boys coming up a little bit later on. We're about to kick off for our second half. 1-1 the score between Maribyrnong College in the navy blue and Rowville Secondary in the blue and white stripes. Brent Sternberg and Taryn Hedo here with you, and that was quite an exciting first half, Taryn.
It certainly was. Maribyrnong with most of the ball, most of the field position, to use a slightly anachronistic term to football, but Rowville looking dangerous on the counter, and they got their reward towards the very end of that first half with a goal to Annabella Montalto, cancelling out the earlier goal to Maribyrnong's Poppy O'Keefe. Of course, a new half this time around, both sides with renewed energy and instructions from the coaching staff, Adrian Mazzarella for Maribyrnong and Melissa Maisels for Rowville. And it's Maribyrnong who are on the charge early on in this half, looking to restore their lead that they held Brent for most of that first half.
Well, what was it, all bar 3 minutes? I think it was Poppy O'Keefe scoring inside 3 minutes, the first set piece of the game. Lovely ball in from Shyla Bella, which Poppy got on the end of and tucked away. Took them 10, 15 minutes or so, Rowville, to really recover from that and start to get their foot on the ball. But Maribyrnong will be disappointed that the scores were level going into the break, and they've got to go and do it again now in the second half.
Well, it's Rowville who were looking to play out from the back, but Cortolino on the ball, as she did for so much of that first half, such a threat on that right-hand side.
I thought that had gone out after the defender, to be honest.
Oh, it did look that way, but assistant referee points for the goal kick, and Rowville will look to play it out from the back. Tam playing it across to Cook, who was under some pressure.
Sorry, Taryn, I was going to say the linesman is about, 70 metres closer than us. So we'll side with the official, as you always should.
Absolutely, officials are never wrong, although if you talk to some players, Brent, they've never committed a foul in their entire life.
Talk to some goalkeepers, Taryn, I think they'll say that.
Everything
always
is always
innocent.
a corner.
Always innocent goalkeepers.
Always. Myers all the way back to Cook.
Whoop.
Cook has the ball taken away from her, and now Maribyrnong looking to spring the counter. Excellent pressing work from Maribyrnong. Olivia Nicolazzo, you'll see, did really well to cut off the option to pass back from Rowville, and that's excellent full team pressing, something that's really difficult to learn. Rowville on the charge on the counter-attack. It was Paris Giorgio who was looking to chase that one down, wasn't quite able to meet it. This time Rowville with a throw in. Well, the same spot that we saw a lot of throws for Maribyrnong in that first half.
Some sort of magnetic field in that particular pocket. We saw a moment ago the number 14 for Rowville, as they've copped it up here, and the young ladies from Maribyrnong will have the throw in. Number 14, Kira Myers. We did say the goal scorer for Rowville was Annabella Montalto, but I think Kira Myers probably almost should have had her name on the score sheet in brackets. Her assist was absolutely fantastic. She went by 3 or 4 players and was unlucky to hit the crossbar herself. Maybe an opportunity here for the Rowville girls.
Driving forward, Rowville shot from the edge of the area, but collected comfortably by the goalkeeper. It was Piccinini for Rowville who took the shot. Not enough power to beat Samaras in Maribyrnong's goal. Indeed, that goal from Rowville, Kira Myers danced past, I think, around 3 or 4 defenders. It was
terrific.
A fantastic piece of skill, really, and for all of Maribyrnong's possession in the first half, that's all it takes sometimes, just that little bit of individual skill. You can't really account for that, but now Maribyrnong driving forward, cleared away though. Superbly done. Maribyrnong though win the ball away straight away. on this far side, driving into the penalty area. But played out. Intercepted again, though. This time Ristevski. And Maribyrnong will recycle possession.
It is something that sets the wonderful players apart from the rest in this game, isn't it? Just that class which no number of training sessions in your life can teach you. You just have it, or you don't. And obviously Myers on the books at Melbourne City, I think you said earlier, Taryn, you saw it in that passage of play. You saw it all throughout the first half, but particularly in that passage of play that popped open the opportunity for Rowville, which was really their only, golden opportunity of the game, and they took it when they looked like they may not when it come back out off the crossbar. Terrific young player, Michaela Myers. Kira Myers, I'm sorry, my mistake.
Now, Maribyrnong, well, a bit of a dicey pass back, but the keeper deals with it very well. Goalkeepers not only having to be expert shot stoppers, but also fantastic with the ball at their feet. Also fantastic distribution, communicators.
And commentators. It is a bit blowy as well out there. It's an overcast day here in Melbourne today, and that's making those back passes to the goalkeepers that get airborne even all the more trickier.
Well, Rowville continuing to knock on the door, but it is Maribyrnong on the counter-attack. Really nice touch, redirected into the centre of play for Nicolazzo. Rowville deal with it just about. Tiny Nicol on that far side as the left back for Rowville. Does well. Plays it back into the centre back, who'll launch it forward. Looking for a run of a teammate. Keeper does well. Now, here we go again. Cortolino beats one. Cortolino still going. Cleared away just about. You could see Maribyrnong players lining up. They knew the cross was coming. But Rowville, their defence equal to it as they were for much of the first half.
It was a good one as well, wasn't it, from Cortolino? Right into the area where you want to put the football, but just the teammates could get on the end of it. And to be fair, that did happen a few times in the first half as well, where Alana Cortolino got herself into some very dangerous positions, put the ball into those positions, and they just couldn't get on the end of it. That might have been one of the messages, I think, from the coaches at half-time. When this lady is on the ball, get into the box.
Now, here she goes, cut out well by Tam. Ball searching for Myers, doesn't quite find her. Now, this is a bit of a big call.
Oh, here we go.
She reminds me maybe of a younger Courtney Vine type player, where she's very quick, she's very good at getting down that side, very good at beating players, but maybe in the next few years we'll watch her in the NPL and maybe even in the A-League Women's one day, developing that ability to hit those teammates more often. But now Rowville charging forward, defended well by Tarrant for Maribyrnong, who'll play it back to her keeper.
How did Courtney go the other night? I think Sydney FC, did they play last night or the night before?
They did beat Perth Glory. I believe Courtney Vine got 2 assists, a goal, and then the other goal was kind of a Vine assist. So it is a big call, a big comparison to make.
It's okay, Taryn, you only live once. If you're going to make calls, make them bigger.
Ball in from Rowville, palmed away by Samaras, who does manage to keep it in the field of play. Always worth a go from distance on these blustery kind of days.
We should just say Anastasia Samaras. We didn't mention her too much in the first half because she didn't have a lot of work to do, but she's a young lady who is playing around these parts in Melbourne with South Melbourne, the juggernaut South Melbourne. And she'll be hoping that she doesn't have too much to do in the second half either.
Well, one of her teammates, Sarah Lee Derbyshire, also playing for Maribyrnong, both from South Melbourne under-17s, and Emily Rukowski playing for the seniors this season
Not
as
bad.
well. So certainly not bad at all. Oh, neat touch from Shanks. Plays it to Myers. Myers takes on the defender, who does very well. Tarrant to stand up to her, and Myers drags the ball out of play.
Just saw a substitution for Rowville a moment ago. It was Leah Piccinini coming off. I just have to give me a moment, Taryn, to have a look at who replaced her. But Piccinini was pretty good out on that flank, wasn't she, in the first half?
She was, made a difference coming on. Another one with a lot of pace. Maribyrnong out wide. Slide challenge. Well, just about putting her off enough that Rowville win the ball back, and now diagonal looking for Myers. Too much on the ball, Samaras claims. But now
well done.
Rowville streaming forward again. Stopped in their tracks, Myers. Display it out wide. She's looking for McLeod. McLeod manages to keep it in. Plays it centrally, but just to a Maribyrnong defender. No, Rowville able to win the ball again high up the pitch. Go for a shot from distance, Madison Campbell, but not quite the purchase that she would have liked. As we were saying, Brent, certainly worth a shot in these sort of conditions.
Yeah, not a bad effort. I just would wonder if the messages coming from the Rowville bench might be, let's not resort to those types of shots. Let's try and get it into the area. One back here by
Superb
Rowville.
work from Shanks to win the ball back. Headed away. Maribyrnong doing well again. And they've won the ball high up the pitch, but Madeline Cook ensuring they don't go any further. The number 9 at centre back. Out wide, this is where Maribyrnong can be very dangerous. Neat touch. They know now, Rowville, they've got 2 players marking Cortellino almost at all times.
Still
but
can't stop her.
Still can't stop her. She's on her way here, Cortellino.
Oh.
Still going. Ball squared, cleared. Shanks claims for Rowville.
I think this might have been the young lady who came on a moment ago for Piccinini. Piccinini was on the right wing. I think that may be a like-for-like swap. The Rowville girls.
She's certainly been very busy since she's come on, looking to win the ball high up, and this is a big difference from the Rowville of the first half to the second. They're pressing a lot higher in this second half. Perhaps Melissa Mazel's just giving them those instructions at half-time to not let Maribyrnong attack them so much, and now we are seeing some substitutions for Maribyrnong.
Bringing off Cortellino, which is a big call. So you've got to give all the girls an opportunity. Coming off as well, Palazzo, who's been good, and Layla Hussein.
You certainly do, and fresh legs in this competition will make a big difference. Rowville streaming forward. Out wide on the ball for Rowville. McLeod will cross it into the middle, but cleared away by Tam. Now Maribyrnong doing well to win the ball back, but being put under constant pressure in this second half from Rowville's front 3.
Imagine that there'd be some defenders in the blue and white stripes of Rowville just feeling a little bit more comfortable. Alana Cortellino now watching from the bench and not out there running at them and terrorising them.
Although if she does come back on, after a rest, maybe that's an even more scary proposition. Rain just starting to come down a little bit here in Preston, a BT Connor reserve, so that'll make some of those passes just a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, the pitch will be a little bit slicker, won't it? Because we started in sunshine. As we can see, 16 degrees here in Reservoir at the moment. BT Connor Reserve, the home of the mighty Preston Lions, who were here last night. They were beaten by Oakley in the Australia Cup.
Reverse ball from O'Keefe was cleared away. Rowville trying to drive through the middle. Campbell's been a constant presence for Rowville in the midfield in this half. But Maribyrnong, ball on the edge of the area, played back. Cleared decisively that time. Shanks looks to beat a player. Touch a little bit too heavy.
Dad Karen, despite having that game here last night, still looks in pretty good nick, the deck, doesn't it? Obviously, a little touch of rain here just to quicken things up a little bit. This could be a fast finish.
Absolutely could, and it was a wonderful occasion last night. Preston Lions in the Australia Cup, and well, with the announcement of a Women's Australia Cup, I'm sure a lot of the players on the pitch today will be hoping to participate in that competition in the future as well. Absolutely nothing like the early stages of the Australia Cup. Get to your local club, have some of the feed, the chivapis.
Oh, yes.
Not too much better in Australian football than that. It's fantastic that Football Australia has announced a women's version is on its way. Possibly next season. I'm sure a lot of these players will be looking to be involved in the near future.
It'll be a wonderful opportunity to put a lot of our women in the shop window as well, and potentially having some of the standout players from up north or out west come over and have a crack in the NPLW, or even go up, of course.
Absolutely. Myers now, neat little turn. Played out wide, ball stabbed away, finds its way through to Maribyrnong's goalkeeper. So we are about halfway through this second half. A reminder, halves 35 minutes in this competition. Score is currently locked 1-1 thanks to an early goal to Poppy O'Keefe for Maribyrnong, and then a response from Annabella Montalto of Rowville late in the first half. Of course, if the scores are still locked at the end of regulation time, we will have 2 lots of 10 minutes of additional time and potentially even penalties, which would be a lot of fun, I'm sure, for everyone except the people involved.
Well, I do like penalty shootout. I can't believe whenever we go to penalties, we have a big game decided by penalties and people question about whether or not there's a better method to decide a winner. Of course there's not. Penalties are the best. Just on the second half, it's been a bit of a stalemate, hasn't it? I mean, both teams, it's certainly been a lot more even in terms of possession compared to the first, not the first 45, the first half. Force of habit saying 45, as we've got a bit of a coming together right in the middle of BT Connor Reserve. Good show of sportsmanship, or sportswomanship rather.
Well, it'll be Maribyrnong with the free kick, and certainly a more even contest, but as we know, it just takes that one moment of brilliance. And here we are at the back post, and wonderful defending from Rowville to deny Tawana the opportunity to shoot. All credit has to go to that Rowville defensive line on that occasion. The right back, Keilor McLeod, and then also the centre back, Madeline Cook, because it looked for just a moment like Cool had an open shot at goal.
And it is a good test as well for these girls, obviously, to stay switched on mentally. I mean, you talk about the skills of this game to be able to, compete and play it at the level, but also to switch on mentally and not have that lapse.
Now some space, but cut out really well by Tam. And Rowville, neat little touch, looking for Giorgio. Has a few defenders to beat on her own, decides to take one on, but well dealt with in defence. And straight away, you can see this switch of play from Maribyrnong. You can really see that style of play and what they're trying to do with possession football and their high press. At the moment, Rowville more than equal to it.
Just on that point of staying switched on, I'm sure you'll agree, Taryn, when we're at games and calling them and we can hear the coach's instructions, I reckon 90% of the time that's what they're shouting out. Stay switched on. Keep your head in the game. Like we said, it only takes one moment, and we saw that in the first half.
McLeod ball in to the box, and for a moment it looked on at the back post for Rowville, but nothing doing in the end. Maribyrnong in possession. Oh, neatly done by O'Keefe, and cool stopped in her tracks by McLeod, who will go herself. Look to release Myers. Not Myers, apologies. Myers still in midfield. Oh, wonderful piece of skill. That is by Kira Myers that time, and this is what we saw in the first half. We can hear her teammates and friends on the sideline absolutely loving that. And it doesn't get too much better than watching pieces of skill like that on a football field.
She's already done a mischief to some of the opposing players already today. A few nutmegs, a couple of step overs.
Well, in senior football, that's a few fines if you get a nutmeg. Not sure it's quite the case in school football. Oh, and a neat touch again. Maribyrnong with their hands full at the moment. It's forced to play it all the way back to her keeper, who's under a little bit of pressure from O'Keefe. O'Keefe gesturing for her teammates to come help her out in the press. And now look at this ball through, releasing that Rowville player on that far side, called back for offside, much to her dismay.
What would the penalty be for being nutmegged at school level? Detention?
Not quite sure about that one.
You see both coaches continuing to make some alterations to the lineups. Heading down the backstretch of the second half, still locked at 1-1.
Maribyrnong with the throw. Well controlled and played back. Looks like Cortolino has made her way back onto the pitch for Maribyrnong. Defended away. Cook with a player right on her back. Does very well to play it on. Rowville driving forward. Myers finding McLeod. Wins her side of throw.
Well, that's a cheat code. Cortolino coming back on. That's not fair.
Well, we did say maybe after a rest, that's an even more scary proposition for Rowville defenders. But again, they've done really well so far. The singular goal that they've conceded, of course, coming from a set piece. And now Giorgio finding some space. Very well dealt with on that far side by Maribyrnong. Really, both sets of defenders showing what they're capable of this morning. We do tend to focus as people watching the game on the skills of the attacking players, but on that occasion it was Ella Hamilton from Maribyrnong who did an exceptional job at just staying on her feet and not letting Giorgio past her. But Rowville on the charge again, out wide, looking for Myers. Myers keeps it in. Kira Myers forced to the corner. And Maribyrnong winning the throw. Much to the joy of the crowd watching. Sounds like Maribyrnong's boys team will be playing this afternoon.
Loud and rowdy. That was well done just a moment ago there from Erin Tarrant to close down Kira Myers, I'm sorry. That's the second time I've called her Michaela. Sorry, Kira. My mistake.
Sani Nicol will take the throw for Rowville. She'll play it back to Tam. All the way across. Plenty of space, being encouraged to shoot. Does so. Right into the breadbasket of Samaras. Again, to much applause from those fans in the stand.
Our final 8.5 minutes of regulation. Time's running out for these two teams if they don't want to play some extra football. Almost getting into that stage of the match, Taryn, where one of these teams, if they're able to find a goal, that might be the game.
Well, who doesn't want to play some extra football?
Well, they might be a bit worried, these two teams, that if the game finishes too early, they might have to go back to school. Let's stay here and go all the way to penalties.
That is a clever way of thinking about it. The longer that you're here,
you don't have to be in the classroom.
Don't have to be in the classroom, exactly. Surely Maribyrnong are being allowed to watch their boys' team this afternoon.
I would imagine so.
Maybe a bit dicier for Rowville. Maybe Rowville will want to hang on for that extra time and penalties.
Do you think they would have organised their penalty lineup just in case? I wonder.
It's an interesting question. I'm sure the coach would have it in their back pocket. Maybe not shared with the players. Maybe a need-to-know basis is really neatly done, again, by Ella Hamilton to head the ball back to the goalkeeper. Of course, if it's headed back, even intentionally, goalkeeper is allowed to pick the ball up. Maribyrnong driving forward. Cortolino. So dangerous, Cortolino. But dealt with again very well by Rowville's defence. Oh, a shot from distance, just over the crossbar from Emily Rudkowski. Both teams now hitting those shots. We didn't see them in the first half. And as both sides look to break the stalemate, you think it may only take one goal.
I wonder if they're the instructions coming from the bench with the rain and the conditions worsening, but still not too bad. You can see the rain, I'm sure, on the screen getting a little heavier out here. Maybe it's worth a go, those long-range shots.
Down this far side, Maribyrnong driving forward in a tussle. Tiny Nicol doing well in defence. We'll see some more substitutions. It looks like Paris Giorgio coming off the field of play. We hope that's not an injury and she's okay.
No, yeah.
Teammates getting around her though, that's always good to see. Now Rowville driving forward again, very calmly dealt with, but this is where things start to get dangerous. You start to get nervous. The rain pelting down now of BT Connor Reserve.
Ooh.
And that's a heavy challenge in midfield for sure on Poppy O'Keefe. Maribyrnong don't mind. They take the free kick quickly. O'Keefe playing it out wide.
That's one way to cut down a Poppy.
Certainly is. And she's very good on the ball, Poppy O'Keefe. I'm sure has a lot of fouls against her in those sorts of scenarios because she's so tricky with it. Defenders simply have to commit those fouls in order to stop her sometimes.
You can imagine on the weekends she would be a marked player, wouldn't she, Poppy?
Absolutely.
I'm sure she'd relish it.
Ball through. Played back to McLeod. McLeod unable to beat the defence. But now again we're seeing some aimless long balls here, but it only takes one to come off. Pardo chasing that one down. Samaras dealing with it calmly. Into midfield now. Rukowski playing it back. Rukowski again. Nice ball through. McLeod will chase it down and deal with it. Well, it was charged down by Nicolazzo. But thankfully for McLeod, just for a goal kick. And well, what drama this could be as with only 3.5 minutes to go. Looks like we may just be heading into extra time in this final.
It'll be interesting to see which of the teams actually chase this one, try and win it in the final moments. As they continue to swing the changes, like you mentioned, Taryn. Rowville, who are still trying to play out from the back.
Well, as we said, it's very much still at this level about learning the game, and that ball from Myers searching for the back post, but again, Tawana Cool from Maribyrnong dealing with it, but Rowville on the ball again. Myers takes the strike, always curving away. Worth an effort from distance, but scores still locked.
Ultimately unsuccessful, but she's had a couple of goes from range, Kira, and she looks like she hits the ball quite sweetly from distance. I mean, they've had a nice bit of fizz behind them. They haven't been hopelessly hit. Unfortunately for her, though, they haven't reached their intended destination.
Now, Maribyrnong in the dying moments of the game, streaming forward is Cortolino, still Cortolino. But the keeper doing very well with her defence. Sani Nickel keeping Cortolino at bay, but they've given the ball away straight away, Rowville. Cleared away. And it looked, but for the defensive efforts, like Maribyrnong might take the lead in the dying moments, but here they come again. Cleared away. Rowville looking to spring something themselves. But Maribyrnong still going. Maribyrnong intercepted. It's getting scrappy.
Yeah.
Now, final minutes of regulation time. O'Keefe. Reverse ball. Chasing it down. Here's Nicolazzo, but Hellings very smartly out to the ball. Now Rowville. Well, both sides want the win. Neither side wants to go into regulation time. They value their learning, Brent. They want to get back to school. Cortolino still going. But the defence again standing tall. Now, heaps of space for Giorgio, who plays it back instead. Through the middle for Rowville. Looking out wide, but some tired legs out there at the moment. Rowville, one last opportunity. A shot from distance. Doesn't have the legs. And claimed by Samaras. Whoa, full time of regulation time in this final. Maribyrnong and Rowville cannot be separated. A 3rd-minute goal to Poppy O'Keefe cancelled out in the first half by a goal to Annabella Montalto of Rowville. And it means, Brent, we are heading to extra time.
Well, another 20 minutes of football. And this is going to be a very important break for the girls because, like you mentioned, towards the end there, Taryn, a few of them were out on their legs, weren't there? I must say, Poppy O'Keefe, I don't remember her being subbed off. I think she's one of the few players that has played that entire match. She looked like she was still going strong, putting some nice balls into the final third. But here we go. We might have spoken this into existence, Taryn. We're almost there. Penalties. Still got to get through 20 minutes to find a winner.
Well, both teams will be desperate to avoid penalties and score the winner in extra time. Well, who will be the hero out there today? Well, we are back underway for the first edition of Extra Time in this final between Maribyrnong and Rowville. Scores locked at 1-1 after 70 minutes of regulation time, 35-minute halves. We require an extra 20 minutes and possibly even penalties to decide the winner of this final. Joining me on comms, Brent Sternberg. Brent, how do you see this period, of extra time going?
Well, as the sun pokes its head through at BT Connor, we had a second half that was played under grey, drizzly old skies. It was a bit of a feeling out process, wasn't it, in that second half? The longer it went on and the more the two teams probably felt as if we may go to extra time. They kind of went into their shell, didn't they? We had a few long-range efforts. Maribyrnong probably still the team that have had it on their terms as they come forward here.
Rukowski with the ball forward, out wide, but cleared away.
It's that age-old thing, though, isn't it? They've had not all of the possession. They were certainly evened up in the second half. But so much of the possession and territory, but it hasn't equated to opportunities.
Well, interestingly, so much of the game has been played in this half of the pitch, whether it was the first or second half. Seems to be this side of the pitch that's really getting the work out. It's the side that Maribyrnong are attacking in this first 10-minute period of extra time. But Rowville doing well, and now options on the counter. Ball launched forward. It's Shanks, who was almost on the end of that, but Myers intercepts. This is not where Maribyrnong want to see Kira Myers. Plays it to a teammate, has a shot, blocked away. Still going here, Rowville. Tarrant blocking the shot and then continuing with the ball. Fantastic work from Aaron Tarrant, and really in the second half we were praising the defence of both teams, and that's another example of how efficient they've been today.
Well, it's one of the things that you could probably point to when we say there hasn't been a lot of clear-cut opportunities. Both teams have been resolute defensively, which is quite impressive when you think about some of the attacking talent that we've kept talking about out there. You know, Cordellino and O'Keefe, Myers for Rowville. They've done well to hold those players out.
Well, both teams well credentialed in this competition. Maribyrnong defending champions, Rowville winners in 2021. So both teams will have players that have done it all before, that know what it takes to lift that trophy. And, well, in extra time, they're going to have to go deep into their reserves to find a result in this game. We were already seeing some tired legs at the end of regulation time. Of course, it is rolling interchange in this game, which means players can be subbed on and off, but still it's a huge ask on a heavy pitch to play what will end up being a full 90 minutes of football.
Yeah, a full game of football midweek. So many of these girls, in fact all of them you'd imagine, are going to have to back up on the weekend, aren't they? So hope they recover well. Wouldn't want to be playing on a Friday night, Taryn.
Well, I'm sure for a lot of them this is just another midweek game. I'm sure they're very used to this kind of thing, but it certainly is a big ask and a tough challenge by Sarah Shanks of Rowville. A foul awarded. No card given. It's been a pretty clean game so far. No cards awarded to any player of either team. So that's always good to see.
We haven't seen too many rash challenges, have we? Which is great, obviously. But, you know, in a final where tempers are always potential to flare.
Myers releases Shanks. Will look to find Myers, but it'll be intercepted by O'Keefe. And Maribyrnong playing it out from the back, as we've seen them do so often today. Out wide. Now it's Hussein in some space. Layla Hussein still going for Maribyrnong. Now out wide. Ball crossed in and just over the crossbar. It's Nicholas Schultz. Shoots, rather. We believe, confusingly, 2 players wearing the number 9 for Maribyrnong today. So Lana Costolino and Nicholas Shoots.
We had 2 words to distinguish them, didn't we? For Cortolino, it was fast, and for Shoots, it was blondie.
Well, if that is Shoots, she's a Calder under-17 player. 4 goals so far in that competition, so coming off a bit of form in clubland.
Speaking of juggernauts, Calder United around these parts on the women's side of things.
Absolutely. Well, they haven't started their senior campaign off particularly well, as we see a driving run into the box, comfortably dealt with by Rowville's goalkeeper. A little bit of pressure on the ball, but Rowville are the ones who do come away with it. Out wide, back into the middle, but intercepted before it could reach Shanks. Good work by Ristevski.
Great work.
He'll play it up the line, but Rukowski not able to reach. But still going here are Maribyrnong. Ball into the middle. O'Keefe takes a touch around the defender. Poppy O'Keefe deflected and back post. Defensive effort again. Ball bobbling around the box. How did Rowville keep that out? Fantastic defence, fantastic goalkeeping, and Maribyrnong win a corner in the end. But my goodness, that was so close to Maribyrnong taking the lead.
They just had enough bodies, didn't they? They just had enough blue and white shirts in the road. One of their better opportunities Maribyrnong have had for a little while, but it does result in a corner kick, so still the potential to potentially take the lead here. Closing stages of the first period of extra time. We might have an issue here, actually, with one of the Rowville girls who has stayed down just by the fence on that far side.
Fortunately, there is a player down for Rowville. Coach Melissa Maisels has gone over just to make sure she's okay.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure if that was in the passage of play or what exactly has happened here, but the officials are over there and the medics as well.
Looks like there will be a hold up.
Yeah, a little bit of concern here for the Rowville player. Can't quite spot the number on the back there. We don't want to have a guess at this.
A shake of the head. You hate to see that.
I wonder if this is a contact injury, or you always wonder when a player is down by the fence if they've made contact with it. Not a long run-off, is there, at these football pitches in and around Melbourne? The byline or the touchline?
Well, we've seen a substitute come onto the pitch and the medic making their way over. So she will be in the best hands possible. We wish her all the best, of course.
She looks a bit upset, but she doesn't look to be too distressed, so we cross our fingers.
Play continues. The corner cleared away at the front post. Maribyrnong will have another go at it. Short corner taken. Maribyrnong driving into the box. Cleared away, though, by Rowville. And here is where they're looking to spring the counter. But Tanase Cook doing well to put the ball back in the mixer. And O'Keefe, well, with an audacious volley. Not quite able to get her body over the ball to direct the shot. But, well, that could have been quite something.
I'm sure her eyes lit up when that loose ball just spilt in front of her. Just not able to make the contact that she would have liked, Poppy. Maybe the best opportunity of this first period of extra time, which is winding down.
Well, almost winning the ball back was Nicolazzo for Maribyrnong, but Rowville on the charge, and that's half-time of extra time. Scores still locked at 1-1 between Maribyrnong Sports Academy and Rowville Secondary College. And if you are the coaches right now, Brent, what are you telling your players?
If I'm the Maribyrnong coaches, I'm probably saying, again, had the better of the possession, had the opportunities. I'm probably scratching my head, to be honest, and wondering how we didn't score with the at about the halfway mark of that period. The opportunity right in the 6-yard box. Rowville just managing to have enough numbers there to see it to safety. I think they'll be pretty keen to get the football at the feet of their star players, Poppy O'Keefe, who keeps going strong. But Rowville, if you are Rowville, I don't know, do you want to see this get to penalties perhaps? I mean, obviously, when you go to spot kicks, it's in the lap of the football gods, isn't it? But I'm sure that they would want to try and get a second goal and perhaps win it in the second period of extra time. It's nervy.
Well, it is one of the most exciting and anxiety-inducing things that can happen as a player, penalty shootouts. As a goalkeeper, they can be incredible because no expectations on goalkeepers in penalties. If you save one, you're a hero, but as the players taking the kick, well, there is nothing more nerve-wracking, I think, in the entire game. But still 10 minutes of play to go for either side to break this deadlock. And it's Rowville who get us back underway, starting with a long diagonal, but just giving the ball back to Maribyrnong. The sun is shining again on this second period of extra time. No doubt make it a little bit more pleasant on the players. Still fairly chilly out there at the moment. Nice classic Melbourne March day. Now, ball over the top, Cortolino still going. Cortolino dealt with really well by Tam. Rowville not quite able to get away on the counter, but they will win the throw.
Talking about the potential of penalty shootouts, I wonder what the mindsets of the two goalkeepers are. Whether they wanted to see it go all the way to spot kicks and relish that opportunity. Of course, if you are the goalkeeper, like you said, Taryn, you have the great chance to be the hero if you can make a save or two. May only take one. And if you don't, no pressure on you.
Oh, McLeod for Rowville on this far side. McLeod. Oh, Maribyrnong defence. Tarrant coming over and doing well. The fullbacks of both sides looking to push nice and high and create those overloads, but again, the defence has been sturdy. Really been a deadlock, and now Giorgio through the middle, back post, keeper does well.
Oof.
Clear it away just about. Rowville with a golden opportunity to take the lead, but instead it's Maribyrnong who are on the charge here. Cortolino, but dealt with well again. And I think we can expect to see this end-to-end stuff as the clock ticks down to penalties.
Cortolino, I think you can tell that last effort just starting to tire a little, not having the same zip that she had in the first half an hour or so of today's play. Well, longer than that, really. She was a dynamite, wasn't she, in regulation time, which was 70 minutes. If you've joined us late, for the girls, we had 2 35-minute halves. Schools locked at 1-1 at the end of the 70. So we do go to 90, but we're only there because we're in 2 10-minute periods of extra time. So if we don't have a goal in the next 7 minutes, when we get to 90, spot kicks it'll be to decide a winner.
Maribyrnong driving forward, dealt with well by McLeod. Into the centre and out to Myers, who will just keep the ball here, calm things down a little bit for Rowville. Now nice dinked ball over the top, but only making it as far as the Maribyrnong keeper. Both teams sticking true to what they're looking to do, playing out from the back, and now a ball over the top. Maribyrnong squares it into the centre, a touch! Oh, the defending again from Rowville is just top class, preventing a shot from getting away. I believe it was Tam that time, and it was Nicholas Schutz with the opportunity for Maribyrnong. Now, here they go again. It was Layla Hussain who was the would-be assister in that scenario and has now copped a little bit of a knock by the Rowville defence, wins her side a foul, but she's back up on her feet. We are seeing a Rowville substitution meanwhile.
I think they have finally tendered as well to the Rowville player that was injured a few moments ago. Hopefully she's seeking treatment but doesn't need too rigorous a treatment.
Tarrant, free kick in, wonderful touch, O'Keefe!
Oh.
In the back of the net for her second. Maribyrnong take the lead with 5 minutes of extra time to go. Poppy O'Keefe from a free kick for the second time in this game. And Maribyrnong in the ascendancy.
Well, it was the same thing, wasn't it? That was how their first goal played out, just 3 minutes into the game. And the best part of 90 minutes later, it's Poppy again, who, like we mentioned, I think she's just about the only player that hasn't been substituted out of the game. Not that I've seen anyway. She's got a brace. And they're up against it now, Rowville.
Now Myers, well, looking to replicate the goal that saw Rowville draw level, and now Rowville, they've just got to throw everything at this. Less than 5 minutes to go. They need this equaliser. McLeod forced out of play. And again, Maribyrnong, for all their possession, it's 2 free kicks that have seen Rowville undone. This time, the ball was in from Erin Tarrant. And O'Keefe again there. Clinical finish. Really well done by O'Keefe, by the junior Matilda. But now driving forward are Rowville. Cook, the centre back, stepping up. Try and inspire her team forward. As we see a Maribyrnong substitution, I think now for Rowville, it is everyone up, and we may even see the keeper up if there is a set piece for Rowville.
I'm not too sure how damaging their goalkeeper's going to be at the set piece. Not the tallest player out there.
Not the tallest, but just an extra body in the box. Rowville, almost everyone forward now and almost everyone back for Maribyrnong.
I think that substitution for Maribyrnong College just to try and settle everything down and fortify their formation out there. And they've got to survive these final 3 minutes.
Driving forward again, Maribyrnong. Hussain. Well, looking to put a flourish on their lead, Maribyrnong. They're certainly not just sitting back. You can see Rowville. Oh, wonderful touch from O'Keefe. Almost resulting in her teammate making a run through. You can see Rowville not wanting to sit too deep, not wanting to defend too much because they've got to keep numbers forward. Try and create something in these 2 minutes. Commitment from both teams again. Piccinini plays it off to a teammate who will just try and launch it forward now. Panic stations really for Rowville. Trying to do whatever they can, but Cortolino.
To the corner flag, perhaps?
I think they want more here, Brent. Cortolino driving forward, beating her player, squares it and across the face of goal. No one at the back post. Rowville have a minute and a half.
Well, you were right, Taryn. Alana Cortolino going in for the kill. Another great ball in. Not sure if we have a medal for best on ground, but she'd have to be close. Cortolino, what a shift.
Certainly would be, although it'd be tough to go past.
With a brace, Poppy.
The brace with Poppy O'Keefe. Maribyrnong still streaming forward. Tired legs out there in these last few moments. It'll be a Rowville goal kick. Well, you'd think that this will be as long as she can possibly kick it. 40 seconds remaining. Neat little touch, but intercepted by Maribyrnong. Now driving into the penalty area, just keeping possession. O'Keefe, clever by Maribyrnong to just keep possession off Rowville. They're the team with the lead. You can see the desperation to win it back, and they have done so. Now, springing forward. Rowville, last chance saloon for the team in light blue.
Oh.
But Maribyrnong get the ball back, and Maribyrnong Sports Academy are champions. A hard-fought match going deep into extra time. But in the end, a goal from Poppy O'Keefe off a free kick proves the difference. At full time, it's Maribyrnong Sports Academy 2 and Rowville Secondary College 1.
A familiar champion, Maribyrnong again. I wonder how they will assess that overall performance. I mean, they just had enough, from the set pieces. Had so much of the football, didn't they, during the regulation period of 70 minutes. I think they'll be disappointed that they conceded that goal when they were left scrambling at the back towards the end of the first half of regulation. I think you'd have to say, Taryn, though, the right team won, or the better team won. Certainly the team that had the more thrusts forward. We mentioned for all of their possession, for all of their territorial dominance, perhaps didn't create the opportunities that they might have liked. But they win. They win again. A little bit more silverware for the cabinet back at Maribyrnong College.
Oh, champions twice in a row, Maribyrnong Sports Academy. 2 goals to Poppy O'Keefe, a goal for Rowville, for Annabella Montalto as well, means that at full time at BT Connor Reserve, it's Maribyrnong 2, Rowville 1.
I'd get all the medals. One, two, three, four, five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep.
Maribyrnong fella tell us about when
Is the one good on the bench, Samuel? Yep. He didn't tell me about James Justevsky though. Bozanovsky was tall centre back.